On the 8th of November 2019, I made a decision that led me to gaining over 100,000 subscribers, working with the game that I've loved since I was 11, and even meeting my closest friends and completely changing my life. And what was that decision, you may be wondering? Well, it was uploading this video, Bloxburg No Game Pass Modern Home 30k XO. So today, I'm going to be remaking this exact build 6 years later, except hopefully it'll look a little better this time. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now today is actually the 6th anniversary of my channel. I've officially been doing YouTube for 6 years. So of course we are going to be remaking my first ever video because honestly the build in that video, it was terrible, okay? It was awful. I've wanted to remake it for a while. So before we get to building, I'm actually going to show you guys what this video was. Here we have the No Game Pass Modern Home video. Oh my gosh, this has 3,400 views now. Now as you can tell before I even press play, this was back when I was the biggest YouTube noob on the planet, okay? I couldn't even make the video the same size as the screen. Why is there like these gaps on the side? Anyways, but this is pretty much it. I basically did a speed build because that's kind of like what I started doing when I first started Bloxburg YouTube videos. If we scroll back to the start, you will actually see if I press play here, I used to be called Painty. My original Roblox username was Painty Ninja 1013. So I started YouTube as Painty with this absolutely terrible intro. However, this whole video, like I said, is a speed build. Oh my gosh, the old colors. Wait, this is actually crazy to see. But yeah, this is a speed build. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna skip to the end to the tour. Oh my god, this is painful already. Look at the graphics quality. Oh my gosh, wait, let me mute this. There's like the most awful 2019 speed building music in the background, but this is the build here. So we had this exterior. This was meant to somehow be aesthetic, and this is anything but. So we have a very white and linen exterior, very modern. And then if we go inside, we have a, you know, an inspirational quote. We have some more white. Oh my gosh, it's so empty. And then we have the kitchen here, which, oh no, we have the very aesthetic white lighting. We have a very white and gray kitchen. We have like fairy lights. Well, you would be able to see them if they weren't so bright. We just have a very simple kitchen. There's one of my old friends who we're just gonna, you know, skip past here. Here we go. She kind of goes back out, and then we have like a dining table and a living room. Why was I so bad at touring these things? This was before the days of free cam. You just have to zoom in. Oh, we have a garage in here. Okay. Yeah, we used to not have free cam, and we used to have to just tour in first person like this with the mouse in the middle. And then this room here was like a little kind of utility room with like a washer. Wow, times have really changed. There's not a single bit of pink in this build that I can see. We have the little living room, and then we have the garden, which just basically consisted of a few little plants here, a picnic bench, as you can see there, and then the floor I forgot to color, which is why you can see I wasn't looking at the ground there because I didn't want anyone to notice that I forgot to give the floor a color. But then we have the bedroom in here, very aesthetic. This has the tiniest bit of color in it with this weird gray color. Oh my gosh, look at the old Avatar style. That is like the peak Bloxburg mom aesthetic. But yeah, we have like a bed in here, and then this is the little bathroom, which, oh my god, the lighting is so bad. We have a very basic bathroom just covered in tiles and white, and that's pretty much it. This was my first ever video. It was the worst build you've ever seen in your life. Why I posted this, I do not know. Look at the lag. This is crazy. But this is pretty much what we are going to be remaking today. This terrible modern house, we are going to basically take this and turn it into something beautiful. Now to start the build, I built the floor plan in the video and then tried to recreate something very similar but slightly bigger or smaller in some areas, as well as not including the giant white wall blocks I added on the side, because nowadays we of course have basic shapes instead. So once I had the floor plan ready, I used basic shapes to kind of make the kind of like white block structures around the build that I had to add to kind of like the modern shape of it, if you kind of know what I'm referring to. Then I added the windows and the doors for the front, and I added more detailed windows than the original. And for the bedroom side of the house on the front, I had like these wall parts that kind of stuck out like these panels in the original. So I remade these too, but this time I actually used a basic shape so I could make them kind of smaller and thinner, and also line them up with the lines on the windows more. And I actually really loved how this turned out, honestly. I continued to add to the structure of the outside, and then eventually added some colors to it and changed the grass color, as you can tell, back to green because I felt like the build just kind of looked nicer on the green grass. I also decided to add more black into the color scheme as it went well with the white in the linen, and the linen wood color I actually made slightly darker too. Then I randomly decided that I wanted to make the garden look bit cooler, so for some reason I added a basement with like a little steps down from the path and kind of made like a custom grass level, so it kind of went down a little bit. Then I added the pathway to the front door with these concrete slabs. I also added a pool on one side because why not, and some smaller details around the garden just to finish the structure of it. Plus I continued to work on the shape of the house. Now this section was actually voiced over, by the way, but for some reason when I was recording this I was leaning far too close to my microphone, so it kept making these weird crunchy noises that very much hurt my ears, so consider yourself lucky that I decided to speed this up and talk over it instead. Anyways, fully hallway inside, I also then wanted to make the ceiling in this higher because the structure of this room on the outside actually had a pretty kind of raised ceiling, so I also made this and kind of extended it upwards and added some fake walls, and that was pretty much it. So this is kind of where we're at right now. I'm not going to completely finish the kind of outside garden or the back or anything. This is still looking pretty rough, but we are going to move on to the inside, I think, and then come back to this later because I really want to work out how we're going to do this, because I think I want to make a few little changes. So what I want to do is kind of close off this, and this will obviously have like an archway going into the living room, an archway into the kitchen, but I just want to make it less of like a big open space. I think I also might add walls here too and have like the dining table here in the living room here. But we're just going to kind of start on working out where stuff's going to go. I think I'm just going to place down like some counters and stuff to kind of roughly work out where I want stuff. I'm also pretty sure that this was like curved in the original, so maybe I'll have like a wall there. It's a slightly bigger kitchen than before. But anyways, how are you guys doing? Oh my goodness, I haven't done a build video in a while. I'm so excited. Obviously it's November now. I'm so excited for Christmas content, honestly. At the moment, that's kind of what I've been doing because I have to pre-record everything. Every December I do Glossmas where I post every day or multiple times a day. So I'm having to kind of pre-record and work on that right now, which is very fun. It just takes a lot of time. But what I've kind of been thinking about whilst I've been building this video is I feel like obviously back then when I started my channel and like the first year of it, obviously I didn't have that many subscribers. Like at the end of 2020, I had 2,000 and that was a year after I started my channel. So I keep forgetting that you guys won't be familiar with kind of like things on my channel at the time. So back in 2020, okay, obviously I started this channel as Painty, which you guys all now unfortunately know, but it only took me 3 months. It was like January or February in 2020 that I changed to Glossie because I just thought Painty was so bad. Also, these doors are kind of cute. Anyways, I started changing how I was kind of branded, and one thing I did was one of my favorite foods in the world, okay, ever, my whole life, one of my favorite foods has always been Nutella. So one of the things I did was I started being known as the Nutella Queen for some reason. Like that was a huge part of like the Glossie kind of image, is everyone would call me the Nutella Queen. When I took pictures with people in game, we would always say Nutella. Like for some reason, that's kind of what I chose to be branded as, and it kind of stuck for a while. Like even my parents, they bought me a Nutella jar with Glossie on it at one point. Like for some reason, I was even gonna build like a Nutella castle and stuff. I don't know why. It's something that didn't stick for very long because after 2020, I kind of branched away from Nutella. But that was like a whole thing. And then what other niche things happened? Obviously, when I was looking for this video, I also had a bit of a look at my older videos, and they're so bad. Like my voice reveal video has to take the cake for being the most atrocious thing I've ever seen. I also have so many stories from across the years that I feel like I've never told, but I really want to. Like there was one that I was gonna tell today, but I still don't know if I'm going to because I might do a full story time on it on my vlog channel. But there was a situation that happened in late 2020 when I only had, you know, like 2,000 subscribers, where this channel popped up, this anonymous channel called User115, okay? I feel like if you're in my Discord server or something, or you were around at the time on my channel, you'll know what I mean. But people in my community have just kind of started calling them like the stalker, because I don't think they were stalking me, but it was kind of like this weird channel where they were posting really weird videos about me with like these creepy codes and like TV static and creepy music, and it was honestly kind of scary. Also, I know this kitchen's looking rough, just trust the process, okay? Anyways, yeah, this page would just post really creepy stuff, and they would like post a ton of comments on my videos, and I won't go into all of it because like I said, I think I'm gonna do like a whole story time on it. But at the time in 2020 and late 2020, something a lot of you still don't realize because I don't post it a lot is I did a face reveal on like Christmas Day 2020, but I ended up taking a break from YouTube from like January 2021 all the way to like October 2021, and at the time I took down the face reveal like a month after it was posted, and 9 months went by. And when I started posting again after months, User115 suddenly also started posting again because obviously they'd kind of disappeared when I did, and they posted this video of my face reveal. Like they had a picture of it that they had saved for 9 months. chance, just like they had kept it that entire time. And honestly, the whole thing was just bizarre. It actually turned out that I got a Discord message from someone who said that they found out that user 115 was one of their friends, and that user 115 was also catfishing as me in Discord servers. So it was just very strange. It was just this whole thing. I'll give you guys a full story time on it if you want, because I feel like you guys are just as nosy as I am. But I have so many little stories of like weird things that have happened when I've been a YouTuber, and I feel like it'd be cool to just kind of like talk about it more. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go for more of like a black kind of kitchen cabinet theme. I added black on the doors and windows out here, and I think it looks really cool. So I'm kind of going for that theme in here because I'm really struggling for the color scheme. Obviously, I want to keep the color scheme as similar to the original as possible, but that's kind of difficult when all I used was white. Also as well, obviously I normally build in like complete pink, so this is definitely more of an experiment. Like, I'm not used to building in neutral colors anymore. But if you guys enjoy this video, do let me know, because I think I want to do one on like other old videos I've done. I have so many old builds from my speed building days that I would love to revisit. There's one in particular. There was this A-frame house I did in 2020 because it was kind of this trend at the time to build like an A-frame house, like a giant triangle, because of this little hack with the flat roof where if you placed it a certain way it would like glitch and then give you like these giant triangle shapes. That was a fun one. That is something I would definitely want to rebuild, but we'll see if you guys enjoy this one. I'm adding some like tiles on the kitchen. Honestly, I have absolutely zero plan right now, but what I think I'm gonna do is just kind of get the kitchen done and then slowly maybe go room by room. So I added some modern kitchen cabinets and also finished my tiles by adding a thinner structural to be like the grout in between each one, if that makes sense. And if you're wondering how I do this so kind of precise, I always place my tiles and the grout on the medium placement grid. Then I added a sink to the kitchen island, which was harder than expected because of course I decided it was worth my time to have a custom countertop, so I had to rebuild this entire thing to fit around the sink. And I also added the same light that the original had, and then I decided to stop being really indecisive about the color scheme. It was first me choosing between whether the floor was marble and the countertops were wood, or if it was the other way around, and I ended up coloring it both ways, then posting a poll in my Discord server to let you guys pick, which you should totally join by the way. But then I wanted to go one step further and decided that I wanted this to be closer to the original kitchen's color scheme, which means having mainly white counters. So I recolored it again, basically swapping the tiles and the counter colors, and for the sake of accuracy decided that this was the combination I'd keep. So sorry to anyone who voted in the poll because I completely ignored you. So the kitchen's looking pretty good. I haven't finished it yet, obviously. I've also made a little kind of like room in here too that I also haven't finished, but what we're gonna do now is actually move on to the living room area because I really want to do this. I feel like this has a lot of potential, okay? If we look at the original, the living room has like nothing in it, so basically whatever I put in here is just gonna automatically be an upgrade. For the seats, I really want to use these ones, like the really sleek modern sofa. I feel like this is gonna be pretty cool, but we're just gonna see how this goes. I want to make it look pretty snazzy. Honestly, I've been sat here building and I feel like, you know that Ratatouille gif of the guy where it like zooms in and he's like a child again? This is how this is making me feel, okay? I forgot how fun it is to just actually sit and build like a Bloxburg house. I'm like connecting back to my roots. I just forgot it was this good. I'm so used to in videos building like hair salons or nail salons or just like really random builds. And the closest I get to a house is when I built like a gingerbread house at Christmas. Like, I feel like I don't really build normal houses like ever, so this is actually so fun. I forgot how full of joy and whimsy it is to just sit and build in Bloxburg. One build I really want to do kind of after this one is obviously I made one of the Bloxburg pre-builts, the Bloxburg like townhouses. That was the pre-built that I made, right? Unfortunately for me and the other creators who made a pre-built, when the pre-builts were added, they were added in the infamous, you know, fainting update. And because of the whole kind of hate over that, on the day it released, our pre-builts also got a lot of hate for multiple reasons, which was such a fun experience, you know? That was a great day. I remember I tweeted a picture of my build and I was saying how cool it was that like I had my own build in the game and I'd made this pre-built for them and how it was just a crazy thing for me. And the amount of hate comments that tweet got was like insane. I had to delete it. That is the first time I've had to delete a tweet because it's been that bad. But I really want to renovate that kind of pre-built because obviously it has like two houses in it. One of them's complete and one of them's empty. And because it was a pre-built, when I built it, I couldn't have like a bunch of detail in it because we had like restrictions. So they basically give you like a brief on what you can and can't include. So that's why it was kind of like more very simple, honestly. But I'd love to do one where it's kind of like I renovate the one next to it in the pre-built and I do like a lot more detailed version. So it's kind of like what I would have built it like if I had, you know, full freedom. And I feel like it'd be kind of cool to compare. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. But yeah, this is so fun. I'm so back in my Bloxburg house building days. I'm gonna be doing this all the time. I feel like I'm slowly getting somewhere. I also might replace this table with the, where is it? My favorite ones ever, these curved glass ones. I think these are so gorgeous. So what what I usually do is when I use this as a coffee table, I will add like a shelf underneath. So if you grab this kind of transparent cube and you kind of resize it so it's like a thin layer, you can lower this down and you can have like a shelf like in there, and I think it looks kind of cool. So we're gonna add that too. We'll add this little table in the corner. I don't know what color to do these kind of like sofas. I will be honest, the pink is calling me. I'm thinking maybe like a dark gray that kind of looks black like this, very similar to the original colors. What light did, okay, I didn't even use a proper light. What is that? This one would kind of be cool, but I feel like the ceilings are just far too low for like a big light over here. Like it's very, actually maybe, wait, when I make it dull, do we think that looks okay? I actually really like that. You know what, I'm gonna have that one. We're gonna leave that lamp here. Also, I really like this lamp. I don't know what it is about this mid-century lamp, but I just think the shape is so cool. It's getting kind of bright in here. I need to delete my light cubes. Something like this would be cool. I like this one even more. I might try and do something like this across that wall. So I'd have to remove the pictures for now, but we can kind of make places for them in the wall, if that makes sense. Where did the other, oh, I don't know how I put that one there. And I'm basically just gonna build some shelves out of this material. Should we do it with the concrete, or is that too much concrete in here? Maybe just keep it white. So I made these built-in shelves by literally just making random square shapes in the wall, honestly. Then when I was thinking about what to put on the shelves, I actually remembered something that not many people seem to realize. So in the school update a few months ago, we got an art class, but we also got this kiln and this clay making wheel from the art class in build mode. If you click on these, you can actually make 5 different pottery pieces that aren't available in build mode, like candlesticks and jugs and like a teapot and stuff. And I really wanted to make some of these to have on the shelves because they look so cute. So all you need to do is click on the kind of wheel thing and make them, and then put them in the kiln, and then you have these items. It's honestly so fun. I made a few of these. They actually have a new bowl in there and it's so nice for builds. But I did that and then just continued to add more decoration to the main areas of the house. So I've done quite a bit of work on like the living room area, which I think is looking pretty good. I've done like the dining room. I've kind of decorated the kitchen. I've kept it all quite minimalistic, but enough about those rooms for now. We're actually going to work on the bedroom and the bathroom. And then after that's done, it's pretty much just like the garden areas to do. So the bedroom is actually pretty big. Like this is quite a big space. So this is kind of going to be interesting to furnish. But the bathroom, I actually added like skylights, these 2 lights. Oh my gosh, look at those sun rays. That's so cute. But yeah, we have a little bathroom area. We're going to start with the bedroom though. And what I want to do is have the bed here. This is obviously where it was in the original, and I am trying to roughly keep the layout of everything. But I think what we're going to do is build kind of like a custom bed. And I was also going to have maybe like a wall in the middle with like a TV on it. And then we can kind of add the wood on this. Are we seeing the vision here? Kind of like a very modern bedroom. I feel like most of us are, but I'm a huge IKEA girly, and I have the Malm bed and it's very modern and kind of like a little frame around here. So I'm kind of taking inspiration from the Malm IKEA bed a tiny bit, and then we can kind of build like a frame up the back, like a headboard, which also is basically just like a strip. We're keeping this very, very simple. Here we go. This pretty much just looks like my bed. I'm also gonna steal these tables because these are gonna look pretty cute down the side. I think maybe we're gonna go for kind of like a black color. Wait, can I have this light? I have fallen in love with this light, by the way. I want to use it on everything. I just think this is beautiful, like the lighting. So a lot of the time on, let me show you an example. You know, like if I grabbed this light here, for example, and I change the color of the light, it also changes the color of the light shade outside of it, if that makes sense. So the light and the light shade are like the same color, and that's on a lot of lights. It kind of does the same, but on this one, you actually have a different kind of color inside than the outside. So it's like, it just looks so nice. I really wish they'd follow this kind of same style for the rest of the lights in game. I want to use some of the very modern wall art we have as well. I really like this one. Oh my gosh, it kind of looks cool as well, kind of like coming out from behind the bed. Honestly, I have no idea what to put here. So what I'm going to do is move on to the bathroom, and then we'll kind of go back and finish this as well, because I'm weirdly excited to do the bathroom area. I want to kind of have like a really cool little bathroom in here. Now I kind of want to have, this might sound really weird, like the bathtub in the floor. So I want it to kind of be like, let me move this out of the way for a second. I kind of want to have like, this is like a walk-in shower and a walk-in bathtub. So like this will have the bathtub in the floor, and then we'll also have like the shower, which is like a walk-in, which is all connected. This kind of makes no sense, but in my head it makes perfect sense. So just bear with me, okay? I feel like one of my favorite bathtubs I've ever made was, I did this apartment I think last year, and it had like this it was very retro. I think it was meant to be kind of like 80s or something, and it had like a bathtub in it, and I added like fake bubbles, and it looks so cute. Oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy. I'm trying to get like a perfect level for the bathtub to kind of stick in the ground. Okay, you know what? I think that's good enough. Here we go. This is where the bathtub's gonna go. I will add kind of basic shapes around it, but let me just finish off everything else first. As you can probably tell, this kind of like range of windows and doors is my favorite. However, I wish they had a different design for the door where it wasn't a sliding one, because the rods that they slide on kind of get in the way so much. But yeah, I want this kind of like weird shower layout where there's kind of like, it's like connected but not. So there's like a door into the bathtub, and then the shower just has like an open kind of thing. Do you get the kind of vision here? Like a little bathtub area in there, and then like a separate shower. I don't know where I'm going with this, honestly. I'm also going to cover this in wood as well, because the wood color is just kind of cute. It reminds me of a spa. I really want to build a spa. I think I'll probably do that in like January. We can add a nice modern shower. Wait, this is kind of cute. I actually like this. We're also going to add some tiles in here too, so I'm just copying the ones in the kitchen. So I got a bit carried away with the bathroom and I kind of finished it all, but I think this looks so cute. Like, it's kind of different. It's very simple. Like, this area is kind of empty, but I think this looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now is finish off the bedroom, and for this kind of area, I've decided I want to have these wardrobes, but I want to kind of make like a custom kind of like wardrobe exterior, if that makes sense. Let me steal this basic shape. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to make it look like these shelves are inside of like a bigger wardrobe. Guys, I don't know how to do this. I'm kind of regretting deciding to do this. Let me try and add kind of like, there's these IKEA doors I have in mind right now. Why is everything I build based on IKEA? Let me just first work out how many doors I need. So we'll do 2 there, 2 here, and then 2 down here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use structurals to kind of add like little kind of details on the doors. Even though it looks kind of modern just leaving it like this, but I feel like you can't tell this is a door right now. Here we go. So this is like the little pattern on the door. So I'm just going to add these to all of them, and then I think I'll add some door handles, and this should look pretty simple. This should look okay to just kind of have here. Okay, that's kind of cute. So this is like the wardrobe area, and then the basics are pretty much done in here. What I think I'm going to do is, obviously there's a few things to furnish in here, like tiny decorations. I have to do that and kind of add a few more details everywhere else. But I think what I'll do first is basically just finish off the garden area and then add the little details, and we're pretty much done. I don't want to go crazy on this one. I feel like it looks good enough. So the last thing we have is the garden areas, and this was honestly really easy because I'm always the type of Bloxburg player who just spams different plants over and over again. So that is what I did. I kind of filled up the dirt areas with plants and rocks and like bushes and stuff, and then I added a tree in the lower area too. Personally, I really don't like using like decal plants. I like using the in-game ones, but for the back I added a pool earlier, so I went around and then made like this chunky white outline around the pool to match what I did to the front of the house earlier too. And then I put a cute outdoor table here and some sun lounges, more trees, and finally a little outdoor kitchen, and honestly that was pretty much it. So now it's finally time for the final tour. I am actually so excited to be touring this, and I also, for this special occasion, have my painty outfit here. This is what I look like on my first ever video. This is what painty looked like. I thought it would only be appropriate to, you know, bring this back, and I'm gonna be real, she is absolutely glowing in this, you know, high quality graphics here. I actually think modern 2025 painty, she's looking pretty good. But also wait, I've literally just realized as well, the heart sunglasses, did I predict glossy? Oh my gosh, wait, that's so funny. Anyways, yeah, this is what I look like when I first started my channel. So this is obviously what we're gonna look like whilst we're touring it. So here we have the build. Oh my goodness, this is such an upgrade. This is actually definitely probably what I had in my head when I was building the original. I think this looks so good. I love how the house looks. This is actually gorgeous. We'll do a nice little comparison here as well. I definitely think we may be slightly upgraded, but yeah, I honestly really like this. I love the little garden area. I think this just looks really cute. Just ignore the stray light cube. Okay, I forgot to get rid of that. This is definitely my favorite section though. I love this kind of like bedroom bit. It looks so pretty. But this is the exterior of the house, so of course we are gonna go inside. Wait, this is actually kind of crazy. So first up we have the hallway. Now I did keep everything pretty minimalistic, honestly, purely because in the original build obviously it was pretty minimalistic and empty, but that wasn't a choice. That was because I didn't know how to decorate properly. But I thought I would keep the same kind of vibe and having it just very kind of like, I guess, typical Bloxburg decorations. So here we have the hallway. We just have a little shelves. We are gonna start with the kitchen. Here we have the kitchen, which I actually think looks pretty similar. Obviously not quality wise, but I think the shape and everything looks pretty good. I actually really like the kitchen. So over here we have like a teapot and these bowls from the kiln in here too, and I think it looks really good. Once again, a huge upgrade from the original. I love the tiles. And then if we go into the back, we have the little kind of utility pantry area. We have like the washing machines and stuff, very cute. And then across the hall here we also have the garage. I mean garage, I need to stop talking American, but I just basically added shelves in here and called it a day, very similar to the original. So this is pretty simple. But then we have the main area. So we have the living and dining room, and this is when you actually start to see the decals I have chosen for this. So in true kind of 2019 fashion, I went for all like the black and white kind of face decals. This is the dining area here. We have the table, this little nice area. I think it looks pretty cute in here too. And then in here, I also did the, you know, the black and white quotes. We have our shelf, we have the main living area. I think this shot here is probably my favorite. I just think the living room's really cozy. I did sneak in a Tumblr Girl decal. I really wanted to add one because obviously that is so early Bloxburg, but this is pretty much the living room too. But before we do the bedroom and bathroom, I'm going to quickly show you the garden. So we are going to head out here. This is also very simple. So we just have a simple pool, like a little seating area. You can, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Okay, well, I'll deal with that in a second. Anyways, this is what the back of the house looks like. We have like our little mini kitchen, just some like sun lounges, some plants, very kind of cozy. I actually really like this. This is so cool. And then finally, if we go into the bedroom, this is probably the one I added the least to, honestly. I just didn't know what to put here, but we have another black and white quote. We have our lovely bed area, very cute. There's like a TV on the wall. I just love the windows. I feel like it's very kind of calming in this room. That's pretty much it for the bedroom. And then we have the bathroom where clearly something has went wrong, because what on earth has happened to my tiles? It was not like this when I last logged on. So just pretend they look normal, but this is the bathroom. We have like our little bathtub behind this kind of door that you can go into. We have our shower. I love it. I'm just really annoyed that it's kind of broken. The skylights, we have like the sink and toilet area, and that is pretty much it. Just a very simple bathroom, and that is it for my recreation of my first ever kind of video. Oh my goodness. Let me just close all these doors. This is a video I've been wanting to do for so long. Like every single year when it rolls around to November the 8th, I always put off doing it, or I like forget or something. So I'm really glad I've actually done it this time. This has been a long time coming, okay? But that is it for today's video. Let me know, of course, what you think. I think this came out great. And of course, let me know if you'd like to see me recreate any of my other builds too, because I feel like this was super fun. But I will see you all later. And of course, thank you so much for sticking by me for the past 6 years. It's honestly crazy how far I've come, and I love you all so much. I would not be where I am without every single one of you. Like, it's just crazy. So thank you, because this has honestly just been the greatest part of my life. And of course, as per usual, I want to thank all my channel members. Thank you so much for joining the channel. I love you all. And of course, my Nitro boosters, thank you so much for boosting my Discord server, and my merch buyers from February. Thank you so much for buying the merch drop. I love you all. And in general, I love you all so much, glossettes. And I will see you all later. XOXO, Glossy Girl.